Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of HMF Live. Tanya here. I'm coming to you live from my Transformation Center. Thanks for tuning in, whether it's live or whether it's the recording afterwards. I appreciate you taking the time to check this out. I am a health and fitness coach, and so one of the reasons that I do this episode is to, one, to try and teach, because I do love to teach, and two, to also kind of let you in a little bit on my world and my journey to show you that nobody's perfect and that you can still find ways to make your health and fitness a priority and how to make that work, balance life, work, fitness, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of why I do this in a nutshell, and I appreciate you take the time to follow me on my journey, to check this out, to join me on the journey. Anyway, happy Tuesday, happy June 20th. Hope you guys have had a great start to your week. Hope you had a great weekend. Happy Father's Day if you were celebrating. So today I wanted to give you guys, first of all, let me just say I did that video last night to kind of let you in on some very personal stuff that has been happening, but stuff that I was also sort of celebrating about. So I want to thank you all who maybe liked or commented, responded, your love and support, especially on that post and on my emotional journey, my relationship with my husband journey. Really means a lot to me. And so the fact that you took time to watch the video, it's about 15 minutes long, or to comment, leave me an encouraging message, really, like I said, it really means the world to me. And so thank you for that. And if it helps you in some way, or just shows you that you're not alone in your struggles, you're not alone in even your marital relationship struggles, then I'm happy to kind of be the one out there sort of exposing some of those things that don't get talked about a lot. So thank you again. Okay, so tonight is about, as you may know, you may not, I don't know, but as you may know, I have been doing a 30 days of no refined sugar. So no table sugar, like the white sugar, no brown sugar, no high fructose corn syrup, anything that's been sort of processed like that. I've still allowed myself to have fruit. I've still allowed myself to have natural sweeteners like honey or stevia, even though it's still not a lot. And then, of course, the natural sweeteners that come in Shakeology. So those are still the things that I've allowed myself to have, because honestly, I feel like if the worst thing I eat is, maybe a teaspoon or two of honey, that ain't so bad. And considering learning how much sugar I've eaten up until this point, it's pretty crazy. So I wanted to give you an update on that, and then also tie into it emotional eating, because I am my name is Tanya, and I'm an emotional eater. Totally. And sugar, sweets is the biggest problem. Like, I really don't have an issue anymore with fried food. I've been able to sort of break myself of that. French fries was a hard one. And then I was thinking, because I like the fried and the salty or whatever, well, it turns out there's actually, if you go to like McDonald's, there's actually a lot of sugar in French fries, and it sounds crazy, but there really is. And so I'm thinking, that's probably what I was really more hooked on than anything, because I can turn down lots of other sweets, lots of other fried stuff. So sugar, man, it's hook me up, because that's what it's like. And if you didn't know that, when you eat sugar and stuff, it lights up the same parts of your brain as when you take a hit of heroin or whatever other drugs. So it's crazy how addictive it is, and you can go through withdrawals. And I'm sure that I did. I'd probably have to ask Gary. He probably noticed them even more than I did. But so it's day 20 of the no refined sugars, almost 3 weeks. And I did report to you all a few weeks ago, like right at the start of the month, like June 3rd. So went out for Wonder Woman, went out for birthday party, knew I was going to indulge a little bit, overindulged, and my body made me pay for it that night. So I don't know if I can even count that as having sugar, because my body was like, get out of that, or get out of here with that. So that was my one major slip up. I think there might have been one other time where I had some lemonade that was way too sweet, and I didn't even finish that. So otherwise, it has been fruit. It has been like when I make my own. I think I also posted on here about, Gary and I like to do our marriage meetings, and we like to do it over frozen yogurt. Well, if you go to a store or, one like froyo kind of places, there's sugar in all of those. So I was like, how can I get around that? We still like frozen yogurt, and it's summertime. So started learning how to make my own, and we've had raspberry and lemon, and we've had strawberry, and I think this week will probably be mango. Making it at home, just using, either agave or honey. We both really enjoy it. Saves us money. Hello, at least $10 for the two of us to go to Froyo. Saves major calories and saves sugar. So I've also avoided anything that I've been reading labels like crazy lately. Even the other day I wanted to have some chips and I had to go through and read all the labels and see what had sugars or, high fructose corn syrup and what didn't. Turns out it was tortilla chips. So had a few of those. Been 20 days without sugar, without refined sugars, and it's been kind of amazing. One of the things that I've learned is how much sugar I was actually eating before. I thought I was doing decent, pretty good about my nutrition, my sweets for the most part. But no, like sneaking a few M&Ms here, having a cookie here, a piece of whatever there, whatever candy, like it adds up. You don't think when you have that one, but if you have that one like every day or every few days or whatever, every week, it really does add up. And so the first thing that I've noticed is that the bloat in my belly has really gone down, because otherwise I'm still following my meal plans that I did week after week, still working out every day. But no sugar has also... So here's the thing with sugar. Let me back up a minute. Because sugar is addictive, the more you eat it, the more you want it. It's much like caffeine. The more you need it, or the more you eat it, almost the more you need it, because you start getting headaches and stuff if you don't, which you can with sugar too. But it's like other drugs that are addictive. The more you have it, the more you want it, and the more of it that you need to get that same sort of response in your brain. And so I have found that by cutting out the sugars, and I'm sure I went through the withdrawals and all that kind of stuff, although I will say, starting the month, June 2nd, of being sick from too much really helped me, we're not doing any more sugar. I don't necessarily recommend that, but it did make it easier for me to jump into it. But the less I've had of the sugar, the less I've wanted. Like, my cravings have gone away. It's also really cut down on the extra snacking. Now, I won't lie, I still do a little bit extra snacking, but I'm not reaching for, all kinds of chips. I'm not reaching for cookies. I'm not reaching for candy. The things that I've been wanting the most, honestly, it's been like two real main things. Almonds and raisins. No sugar added raisins, by the way. So if I overdo it a little bit on almonds and raisins, I don't feel so bad. So my cravings for extra other crap have gone way down. I've done a much, much, much better job of sticking to my meal plan, which is pretty amazing, because what I would normally do is, like, throughout the work day, did just fine, stuck to my meal plan, had all my meals, but at night I'd end up wanting to give into sweets or run to the store. Now that we live in town, it's so much easier. Now run to the store and we'll go grab, I'm thinking, okay, I'll grab like a power bar or a granola bar, thinking like, well, it's healthy, I know better. A granola bar, a power bar, most protein bars, you're just eating a freaking candy bar. There's so much sugar in that crap because they have to make all the rest of that crap taste good. And how do they do that? With more sugar. So, really. So anyways, I'd end up snacking a bunch at night because I was eating sugar, so I wanted more sugar. And then the weekends, I would stick to my meal plan, do a lot of extra snacking. We'd do our marriage meeting and I'd go and get the frozen yogurt and then do a bunch of different toppings, some fruit, some candy, thinking, well, it's just a little, not that bad. It adds up. Holy cow, I was eating a lot of sugar. Now, maybe not necessarily as much as a person who's not aware or not trying to monitor that, but for me, it was a lot of sugar. And so I've noticed that the bloat in my belly has gone way down. Like, I'm starting to see ab definition again, which is awesome because I haven't seen that in months. At least, I want to say at least a good 6 months, and probably the start of the year, maybe more. So there's that. I've also had trouble this past 6 months to 9 months with keeping my weight around where I want it to. Like, I know my range is around 125 to 131. Okay, but normally I will stay somewhere in the 126 to 128 range. Well, these past half a year, I've been like 130, 131, 133, and I've had the hardest time getting back to the 120s, at 129 even. Or I would, because I did really great like a couple of days, and then I'd start snacking again, and then it was gone. Because, you know, it has that much effect on me now, because I'm so much smaller than I used to be. It has that much effect on my body. And not that weight is the thing I focus on, but for me, I just use that as a gauge of how far off base or how on track I am. You know, I don't cry at the scale anymore, you know, but I do know when I've overdone it, the scale will tell me. So I've been able, especially this entire month of June, I've been able to keep my weight around 126, 127. Totally cool. Aside from my freaking cat continuously waking me up at night, sleeping is better. You know, I'm actually feeling like I get tired at night when I'm supposed to. I sleep pretty soundly when my cat doesn't wake me up. And then I'm ready to go in the morning, feeling a little less foggy headed. And I mean, all of this stuff, sugar has this much, especially has this much impact on your brain. So this leads me to the emotional eating. Now, like a lot of people, maybe it's mostly women, I don't know, I'm not a guy, but I know for me and a lot of women that I talk to, emotional eaters, you know, get stressed, I want to eat. I get bored, hell, I want to eat. Get happy, want to celebrate, I want to eat. I get upset and I want to pig out, you know, get mad or sad or whatever, and I want to eat. And it's not like, oh, where's the carrots? It's like, bring me all the cookies you've got, bring me a bag of chips, and leave me the hell alone. That's the kind of emotional eating I go to. Give me a whole pizza, because I will eat it by myself. And yes, don't get it twisted, I can eat a whole pizza by myself. I may not be very happy, my body won't be very happy about it afterwards, but I can do it. So the thing that I have found, though, is that by cutting out all of these sugars, well, first of all, Gary pointed this out to me. I didn't even realize it. When he even said once that when my food gets really off track for far too long, I start getting more neurotic. I start getting more emotional. I start getting less level-headed. I consider myself to be, most of the time, a pretty level-headed person. So much so that he calls me a robot sometimes, because it seems like I have no emotion. But when I start eating more sugar, more junk food, it obviously has a biochemical impact on my brain, because I start getting more emotional and more neurotic and less stable. And so I feel like this last month, for the most part, he might beg to differ, I don't know, but the emotional like flare-ups, I guess, have really been down and been pretty level and stable, maybe aside from like PMS. But you know, so I'm not having to emotionally eat because I'm not feeling so super emotional or neurotic. So I mean, it's like this, you know, whether it's a good chain reaction or a downward spiral, it's completely connected. And you know, one thing I will say is that, so this month, usually if I eat poorly leading up to like PMS, leading up to my period, I will definitely feel the symptoms. Like I'll have tons of headaches, I'll be extremely tired, I'll be super emotional or moody, more so sometimes on the verge of like crying as opposed to just being angry. But this time, like, I almost had zero symptoms. I didn't even realize it was that time of the month until it was like, oh, hello, there you are. So I maybe had one headache. I think I had maybe 1 or 2 days where I felt really tired and couldn't figure out why until after, you know, period started. But, you know, it was pretty, like, came in pretty mellow, went out pretty mellow. Like, all right, cool. So there have been lots and lots and lots of benefits to not having the refined sugars. And, you know, honestly, I really don't feel deprived because, like I said, I'm still having fruit. I'm still having my Shakeology. I'm still, you know, using sweeteners like honey or agave or stevia, in even that in moderation. The only thing I will say that I've had to work a little harder at is just reading labels. Knowing what things have sugar in them, what don't, reading labels, looking out for that, making more of my own desserts, my own, if I want a sweet, being in more control of the ingredients, you know, not a bad thing at all. So all this stuff is so super tied up together, you know, sugar, your brain, your emotions, your emotional eating, how you feel, you know, how you feel about yourself, how you look, you know, feeling less really less kind of depressed, less anxiety. I mean, I can't say enough good stuff about the experience so far. And I really did think it was going to be a lot harder. And in the first few days, it was. I will say I haven't been around as many of my friends as much this month, except for right at the beginning. So that's the other test, is whether or not I can really hang out with people and not be tempted to do anything. Although I will say, Friday, I went to a friend's house. They were having a bonfire and they were enjoying a few drinks or whatever. And I told her ahead of time, like, hey, I'll come and hang out because I haven't seen you in a long time, but I'm not drinking because I'm on a no sugar kick right now. And she was totally cool about it. So I did. I went there and I didn't snack on anything. I just had water all night and we had a great time. So one test passed, right? I am going to try to keep this going after the month of June. It's going to be hard. I'm not even going to lie, because 4th of July, and then Gary's birthday, our anniversary, my birthday, and then I'm on travel status for like 8 days. New Orleans, like, hello, drinking capital of the world. I'm not even going to play. New Orleans, and then San Francisco. So it's going to be tough. I'm going to do my absolute best, but I know I might have to do a cleanse when I get back and start it again for August. We'll see. So anyway, let's see, where's our time at? Okay, doing pretty good. So that's been my journey so far. That's the update on my no refined sugars. I really would recommend challenging yourself, and maybe even pick the thing that you struggle with. Maybe sugar isn't the problem, but if it's not so challenging for you, take it on. 30 days of no sugar and see what happens, and you'll find out how much sugar you are actually eating. Or if fried foods is more of a struggle for you, 30 days without fried food. And I guarantee you might even just lose weight from that. I mean, I lost, maybe 2 or 3 pounds from taking out sugar? It's crazy. It kind of makes me disappointed in myself that I let that go on so long. So anyway, that's my update. If you have other questions about my journey so far, or what I've experienced, or how you can get started, or anything like that, comment below. I'm happy to talk with you about it, or send me a message. We can chat more about it, or if you just need support through that. I will say Gary was supposed to be doing this with me, and he maybe lasted like 4 days. And maybe he's eating less sugar. He says he's eating less sugar. I don't know. Just saying. So I'm kind of calling him out. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up here. That's been the update. Emotional eating is way down. Actually, I can't even think of an instance this month where I emotionally ate. Still kind of working on the bored eating, though. I don't tend to do that. But anyway, yeah, if you got questions, comments, whatever, let me know. Post them below. Send me a message. I'm always cool with that. And thanks for watching. And I will talk to you all soon. Oh, last thing I will say is I would love for some of you to join me tomorrow night at 6:30. It's in the events section of this page. Be your own boss. If you got a heart for helping people, if you know that you are meant for something greater than maybe what you're doing now, if you are looking for a way that you can be in more control of your life and be your own boss, then join us. I'm not asking you to sign up for anything, just asking you to come and listen and check it out. So 6:30 tomorrow. It's only going to take up 30 minutes of your life. Promise. So, all right, guys, you're awesome. I love you, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great night.